Okay.
All right, we are live. Hey there, Prez.
Hey, how you doing, Lisa?
Pretty good. So today, it seems like it was just a few weeks. It was literally weeks ago, Prez, that we were doing the exact opposite show. We were doing market downturn, and now today, I want to talk about stock market all time highs because we have been just seeing this so many times lately with individual stocks as well as with the indices hitting all-time highs.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Okay, let's see. All right. So, let's talk about it.
All right.
All right. So, is there any stock market news or anything that on your mind to let a few people roll in?
I'm keeping
Um,
my eyes on the on Tesla right now, as
mhm.
far as they have the earnings coming up, and as far as their new technologies that they're slowly trying to roll out to the consumers. The robots and the robo taxi and all of that is
Yeah.
like ooh.
So, what are your thoughts on this scandal with the robots being like manually manipulated by humans, and it wasn't truly them able to interact with the people at the event that the way they were.
It's a big concern in that they got caught, but I look at it as though they had to do what they had to do to buy themselves some time. I still believe in what their projects are going to be a success. It's just
Mhm.
not ready yet. They're still trying to iron out the kinks, so they got caught trying to cover up their potential delay instead of them just being honest and coming to the shareholders and investors and consumers that look, it's going to happen, but it didn't happen as though it's not happening. It's time for plan B or plan C. You understand what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
way
yeah.
we can determine whether we want to continue to be shareholders or, maybe increase our position or reduce our position or what have you. That way, you're being honest. It gives the shareholders a chance to make that good sound decision for themselves versus you trying to lie and you get caught. Now you
Yeah.
got people that may be contemplating closing out their Tesla position or not getting involved in Tesla at all because of this.
Okay, okay. Another thing that I think they have shown that they have obstacles with is the prices that they throw out, even though they're already throwing out large ranges. Oh, it'll be 20 or 30,000. That's a bit much of a, but when it really does roll out, how much is that robot going to be? We will see. So thanks Steve Bankroll, MTC, and Fast
Hey,
Eddie
welcome in, everyone.
for coming in and chatting. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. So today's topic is about stock market highs. And when we started the show, I was saying the press, it was just a few weeks ago that we were having the exact opposite show where we were talking about just pushing through a market downturn. So, okay. Uh,
Imagine if, and I'm speaking to the ones who aren't currently investing and has been watching us since then. Imagine if you would have started investing then, you would be reaping not
already.
large rewards, but you would be seeing some type of green in your portfolio by now,
Mhm.
to whereas though
That
you can
quick.
see at that small amount that you started with that it's starting to work and it can potentially encourage you to continue at it. Now you should be thinking, if you did start back then, you should be waiting for it to come back down so you can get some more of these good companies you've already started investing into at a lower price.
Mhm. Hi, Joe. We were just talking about you with
Yes, we were.
some gas rewards. We have to talk to you about that offline, about getting going with that, as I know you had shared that with me recently. Um, so, all right, let me share one quick image here. So it was just we've had a 6 week straight um longest winning streak for the S&P in 2024. And previously we had 5 week stretches, but this is just showing what has been going on. I think the S&P is on track to getting to what, 5600 price.
It looks like let me look. Let me look again.
Yeah, it's at I'm sorry, I mean to say 59 or 6,000. It's at
Hmm.
5,864,
Right.
and it has hit as high as uh what, 58.72.
Hmm.
So we're on our way. Now,
To be totally
talking.
honest, I didn't think it would make it this high. I thought 56 was gonna be the end of it. To be totally honest,
Mhm.
it shocked the hell out of me. That goes to show that you cannot time the market because I was expecting everything to start crashing down. You understand what I'm saying? As far as the market cycle, I was mentally preparing myself for a new bear market, and boy was I wrong. So now I have to mentally prepare for us to potentially go higher.
Yeah, yeah, and the SPY is something that Prez was looking at
Hmm.
constantly on a daily basis because he trades based on the SPY. Um, Thanks for tuning in, Chad. I'm glad you're catching your first live, I think.
Thanks for
Uh,
tuning in.
so we all, I think, understand what I'm talking about here with all-time highs, whether it's individual stocks or the indices, they are reaching their highest ever price recorded. And just to move on to some stocks that have recently done that, we have Netflix and Taiwan Semiconductor, which have been in the news lately for also hitting highs. And when those individual stocks they hit all-time highs, that's what's bringing up the indices to also have these record-breaking numbers coming up. So those they've been having Netflix had strong earnings. They always seem to have good subscriber growth, and Taiwan, they've made some good connections with collaborations with Apple and other um, companies to provide their semiconductor, their chips, and what they provide to them. And so they seem like they're building new warehouses and just showing that they're building the foundation to be producing and be in a competition with with the Nvidias, with the AMDs, and the other semiconductor companies. So have you caught any recent news on either of those companies, Prez? I know there's very two different things I'm talking about here with the streaming and then Taiwan, but they were two that recently in the last week had those earnings that came out
Hmm.
and have really shown uh, the confidence that the broader market has for them.
As far as Netflix, like I've been keeping my eye on Netflix for like over the past year or so. Like I don't currently own it, but I am considering it during the next bear market. Like I don't want to buy it at the top because I'm thinking of my risk tolerance, my personal risk tolerance, and I'm not willing to buy it on the way down. I would much rather for it to come down first before I start a new position into Netflix. But I am extremely interested into it, mainly because, like I said before, many times I'm a diehard WWE fan, and news as far as their business is concerned, they're gonna start doing one of their shows on Netflix. So they just struck a huge deal with Netflix. So, and I do currently own the parent company of WWE, which is TKO Group Holdings. They also
Mhm.
own the UFC. So I would like to potentially have a little bit more exposure into the success of this business that I love so much.
Okay. So, Fraz, you're already like asking the question that I think most people in this situation are asking themselves, like, should I invest now or is it too risky? So I guess from what you just said, you think when it comes to those individual stocks, you should just make sure that you're not buying at the high and give it time. But as far as investing, and stop me if I'm saying this and not the way that you're looking at it. As far as investing, would you concentrate more on the ETFs as opposed to individual stocks? Or because I'm a person that never takes a complete break from investing. So would you be more consistent with the ETFs or the REITs or different things as opposed to these individual stocks like a Netflix or a Meta or an Apple or Tesla even until it comes down a little?
Yes, I have been focusing primarily on ETFs. I'm actually like kind of off balance. Like I'm more ETFs than I'm over 60% right now into ETFs. And I've also scaled back the amount of money that I have been investing on a weekly basis and started allocating that to saving so that when the market does start coming down, I can step it back up comfortably and won't have to worry about I'm needing this money later on down the line. Just trying to get prepared and do things right this cycle versus how I operated last cycle because I didn't know nowhere near as much as I know now back then.
Okay. So yeah, I think for me right now, gonna be like I just described, staying more consistent with the ETFs and my more dividend focused portfolio, and then having my alerts and being more mindful for those individual stocks because I'm in a still in a building phase with pretty much everything in my portfolio. So
Hmm.
there's not any position that I'm saying that I'm done. Uh, I definitely have a ways to go. Even realty income, I mean, I'm over 100, but I still wanna keep going with that. I wanna keep going with everything, pretty much. So let's see who's come in. Hey, David, Portola, swung Solana this morning.
Somebody said, "Turn the football off. Let's get the bag." I'm not looking at football. My team don't play till tomorrow, so I'm
Oh,
good on football.
I must be behind in the chat. Oh, I'm well behind. Okay, okay.
I guess they see me looking at my phone. I'm actually like communicating. I'm sending an important text messages out to be totally transparent. I'm not looking at football. I don't even have an earpiece in this week, y'all.
Oh, that's why Prez, if you can multitask like that and listen to the football and me, more power to you. Um, so let's see. I saw a comment by all right. So Fast Eddie saying today's high could be the low in 5 years. If you got 20 years to wait, does it really matter? Why are you laughing? If you have 20 years to wait, does it matter if you buy high or in 5 years low? Yeah, I why, Prez, tell me why you're laughing first.
I missed the whole comment because uh,
Because of what?
Portola Portola 45 is trolling. He said, "You good? Just trolling." I was thinking in my head, "You accusing me of watching football? I ain't even got no earbuds in this week."
Okay. You over here got me worried. I'm like, I need to know what Prez is laughing about before I can go on with what I'm talking about here.
The chat letting
But
me
yeah.
have it. They say that's what you get for not being here like you used to. So I guess I got to deal with it. I own
Oh gosh.
it.
So what Fast Eddie is saying, I think is why we do these type of topics and these type of shows
Right.
is because okay, yeah, the stock market hit an all-time high. And what's going to happen? How many times has it done that recently? Many, several. And what's going to happen next year or before this year is over? It's going to happen again and again and
Hmm.
again. So don't feel like, oh, it's too late for me. Don't feel like, investing the stock market, it's going to continue to grow. Now, I want you to encourage you to take your time, do your research, and not just jump into whatever random stock you're hearing from the person at the gym or, wherever you're hanging out at. Or if you hear it on the news, now if it's in the mainstream media, don't think that that's the reason to jump in either. You
It
have
may
to
be
be,
too late by then. When you
yeah,
normally when you hear about a particular company that's running up, it's normally too late by then. You should just wait it out, put it on your watch list, set price alerts, and focus on a good sound ETF in the meantime, or just simply accumulate that cash into a high yield savings account so that you are able to potentially double down on that position or start a new position when the time comes. Don't chase rockets because you know what comes out of the back of rockets. Fire. You're gonna get burned.
yeah. But don't when we're at all-time highs, when the market is down, if you put in that work to put those good sounds, blue chip stocks, dividend payers, dividend aristocrats, kings, what put the work in the front end, and then um, in time, your portfolio should grow. There are ups and downs in the market, but don't take breaks. Don't take breaks. Don't
No.
think I'm going to mess up my average. Don't think the market is, the whole thing is going to crash. Even if it does, it's going to recover.
And
And
when it
another
does,
thing,
you're gonna be looking at your position and like, I wish I would have bought more.
okay,
Or I wish I would have bought it then when it was down low.
so Portola is sharing that yield max ETFs is their focus for dividend stream of income. Now, I saw a comment from Chad. So I think Chad and I recently joined a Discord that Chad is a part of. So he's asking, just wanted to know if you both make decisions based on fundamentals or technical research.
Both. Both. Definitely both.
Most definitely. If you're not willing to put in a little effort into those departments, those areas, and have an understanding of like the forward PE and what's going on with the company and future growth potential and things like that,
Hmm.
then maybe you should stay away from those individual stocks,
Hmm.
because sometimes you can be okay, but sometimes you can be you can be steered wrong.
Yeah.
Now, um, and always there's VTI and VOO, just the most basic kind of ETFs that you can get started with investing. But just recently, Prez and I think we chose 5 different stocks, and we went through some different points of, I think, what you're asking here, those fundamentals on choosing a company, taking a
Hmm.
look at the performance, the dividend yield, and different elements that you can use in choosing um, whether something is a true sound investment for you to put into your portfolio.
Hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about the psychology of the market highs and the fear of a correction. Do you I think if you once you get started investing, do you think that this really scares people off? It's high. I need to stop investing altogether for now, or what do you think?
Actually,
Is it?
is a lot of people enter into the market around this time. Like speaking from my own
Oh,
experience, like the market was down when I was getting curious about it, during the COVID crash. I was getting curious about it. And something kept telling me, get started, get started, get started. And I didn't. It took for the market to fully recover and go on a trip to the moon before I decided to finally start investing, finally to start getting that account open and investing instead of starting earlier. That way I could have made my rookie mistakes back then and could have, learned a lot more sooner than later. But no need to down myself on it. It's best to get started than not get started at all.
hmm Yeah, I think I agree with what you're saying because I've definitely heard that is when the market is high. That's when everyone is more aware of it and they're thinking,
Hmm.
"Oh, I need to get in." But just if it would have been a better plan to have just been consistent all along and not get started at the high.
Yeah.
So, but
At
I'm
that
not
point in
letting.
time, I was watching a lot of CNN. We had the scamdemic going on. So,
Mhm.
we were all in fear. So we wanted to get as much info. That's when I was learning not to even trust mainstream media because they lied to us too. But that's neither here nor there. But I would always hear, in the corner of my mind about the market performance and things of that nature. The stock market crashed today. Then I started hearing about the meme stocks and all of this, and then I learned about Bitcoin, and that was a foolish first investment choice, but I did it. I own it, and I learned from it. I wouldn't recommend anyone else to ever do something like that. Let Bitcoin be your first investment. Start with an ETF because I bought it at the top of the previous cycle, and I ended up buying it all the way down and all the way back up. You understand what I'm saying? And it took months for me to finally see some green, and to the point where is this legit? Should I still hold on to this? Do I really know what I'm buying? Is it a scam? You start second guessing yourself versus you buying a good ETF at the top and then you buy it all the way down and then back up again. And you're like, yeah, I done bought a basket of stocks all of this time. So it's going to perform well regardless as long as the market continues to recover.
Mhm. But of course, like we were live last night, guys. Also, if you guys didn't catch that, you can check out the replay. We had a great show with we had you learn with Robert over with us for one of our special Saturday lives. And Robert was saying that he was talking to someone that was, I think, in retirement age in 2008. So you have to keep your keep that in mind. Are you coming up on retirement? Are you going to need to tap into your investments? Because then you need to be more mindful of the state of the economy because you are coming into a big change of when you're going to start to tap into it. And I
Hmm.
tell you, thinking back to 2007, 8, 9, that was a stretch of time when the economy was really down. So, but for me right now, I'm like in a building phase. I'm not near um that true retirement age or anything like that. So, but as I get closer, I'll have to put more effort into having a better understanding of where I'm at, and maybe then at least touch base with someone at Fidelity. Hopefully, I'll still be with them. I plan to be with them and have make sure that my plan is in line with where I'm at as far as my age and getting ready to want to have to tap into my investments that I've been building all these years. So, with all-time highs, like we're talking about with companies that you've been investing into, just because they've hit an all-time high, just like with the indices, there still could be growth ahead. Just because you have to think about the fundamentals of the company. So don't feel like the run is over for Apple or Netflix or certain investments. The
Hmm.
growth may not be as extreme as it was in past years, but there still could be growth ahead. I know some of my more you can call them I call them like the boring regular investments that I have. I'm glad to
Hmm.
have them, and I'm not done building them up. What's a boring like a old school investment that you have, Press?
ExxonMobil, but I love it. Like I asked myself before I bought it, like how much more room do I see ExxonMobil growing? Not much. However, they've been around since forever and they pay a pretty cool dividend, so why not hold on to it?
Mhm.
Like who knows like how long it's gonna take for the world to fully transition into all electric vehicles and you won't see any petroleum powered vehicles anymore. That could be 30, 40 years down the road. Like I'm asking myself, and normally what I've seen from my own personal experience is when you run into a good company like that that has already almost maxed out its potential growth, its growth potential, then it will pay you a pretty steady dividend, a pretty nice dividend, and it will begin to increase it throughout the years. Like for example, Coca-Cola. Like, do you ever see Coca-Cola going anywhere? But how much more room do you see Coca-Cola actually growing?
Yeah.
Especially with the population that we have, and the powers that be always preach population control. So
All right. So, guys, if you feel free to drop any comments that you have in the chat, I'm going to take a look at those in the next couple of minutes. So, coming up this week, some notable earnings that I wanted to highlight is, of course, Tesla. But also on the same day, on Wednesday, we have quite a few earnings. We have Tesla, IBM, Coca-Cola, which Prez was just mentioning, T-Mobile,
Boeing,
and Boeing. You said?
Boeing, yes,
Oh, I
that's gonna be interesting.
yes, that is. They've been having a lot of drama going on, and a lot of layoffs also. And who else did I have written? Oh, AT&T. I didn't even realize. Is Boeing even on is it actually on the shot that I was sharing?
Put it back up real quick. Yes, it's at the right top, right next to Tesla.
Oh, okay. Well, I skipped that one. Thank you, Press, for
No
noticing that.
problem.
So, have you been keeping up with any news with Tesla? What's going on?
I've actually been more and I'm a Tesla shareholder, but I've actually been more interested in a company that I don't currently own, and that is Boeing, because the whole ride with Boeing, like it's just been entertaining to watch and read about. Like, I don't have any interest in holding this company, but they've been going through a lot. Like it's just interesting. It's like
Okay.
when you start getting involved into researching companies and following the stock market trends and things like that, it
Mhm.
becomes your entertainment, especially once you cut out the distractional type of entertainment, which is your regular TV, your regularly scheduled TV programs. And that's what they're meant to do, program you to not take the time to invest in yourself to learn about these different companies.
Okay. Well, let me quickly give a little.
Thank you so much. We do greatly appreciate it.
That's a thank you for Chad, who said that they have to get going to trunk or treat, but
That is
just
awesome.
dropped a super chat on his way out. And he wrote on here, put this towards some O for me. I don't know exactly how. Is this a super chat for me to get some O for me or for you?
No, he wants you to buy it for yourself on his
Buy some
behalf.
more O for me. Buy some more O for me. Okay, it's the way that he worded it.
Yeah, on his behalf.
On your behalf? Well, thank you. I can actually do that. And maybe I'll make a little short. I can do that tomorrow. My O physician, I haven't been adding to it. It's kind of the dividends. It's just been building
Yeah,
from being
reinvestment. Okay.
reinvestment because I have Microsoft and SCHD and other things over there. I'm then trying to build on in my Moomoo portfolio, but I will give oh a whole $10 now that we have fractional shares over there too. I can do it.
Hmm.
We didn't have that before on Moomoo for a while.
Yeah.
So what else? What else, Prez? I don't see any questions rolling in. But yeah, guys, we're just talking about the market being at a really high point over the last what did I say, 6 week stretch. The S&P and Dow hitting, having steady growth, but also hitting some milestones that we haven't seen, as well as like Nvidia was quite high recently. We've been talking a little bit about what's going on with Netflix, and when those big major companies have good earnings, or just having strong results, it's going to push up the indices and just the market as a whole. So
Hmm. What I have to really say about that, as far as what's been on my mind, as far as entering the market at this time where we're reaching new all-time highs over and over. Um, don't be surprised when it all comes to an end. Don't get discouraged when the market starts coming down. And most importantly, stay consistent and don't invest money that you're going to end up needing later on down the line when the market does start coming down. Because the last thing I want you to do is to have to liquidate a portfolio because you're in some sort of financial jam and you're in the negative. Now you just became someone's exit liquidity on an investment and not a trade. And that's even worse than losing money in a trade because you're supposed to buy these companies and hold on to them. That's the whole purpose.
Yeah, we were talking about this in our live last night a bit because Prez said you called it don't overinvest.
Hmm.
And I said, okay, that's my version of make sure you have a solid emergency fund. Because just like Prez is saying, describing it now, again, that investments, you should have a time horizon on your investment. And
Hmm.
hopefully, you're not having to tap into the investment prior to the actual goal that you had in mind, you know? And
Hmm.
without that emergency fund, this is what's going to happen. Something's going to happen, and you're going to be looking to that 401k or wherever your investments are at as a source of money. But that's not giving them the time to grow and compound interest to do its job year after year and really build up for you because you're tapping into it so quickly. And I've definitely had people share this exact issue that Prez is describing, of needing money and not having savings, and then selling a really good quality stock that I would have hoped that they could have held on to for a substantial amount of time and really, let it grow. But
Hmm.
you live and you learn, and this
I
is
see a question. Where do you think the S&P and Nasdaq will be 1 year from today? I really don't know. I really honestly cannot answer that simply because what if we're in another bear market, which I feel as though we could potentially be due for one just because of my own personal part of the race that I'm currently in. Like I can go for another bear market right about now, but other people may strongly disagree. Like, no, I need the market to continue to go higher. I really can't answer that. That's why consistency is key here. It's a marathon at the end of the day and not a sprint.
I see another question about what is the best performing ETF. I couldn't say off the top of my head.
Hmm.
What would you
That's a tough one because you had so many different types of
different
ETFs.
sectors and
Yeah,
different
so many
kind?
different. It's that's a really tough question to ask. It depends on the type of ETF because they all different categories of ETFs, just like the stock market indices. As far as an overall, like a S&P based one, that's still a tough question and stuff. I had to really do the research on
Yeah,
that.
I would need to do some research on that.
If I had to take a wild guess, I would say VOO. If I had to take a wild guess.
I don't think so. I think that it's one that I invest into,
Hmm.
but I'm guessing there's things that are higher than the 23 to 30% and when it comes to an ETF, but they're probably I'm quite sure they're not ETFs that I have in my portfolio, but that's just my personal choice because I like to have the S&P exposure.
So let me help you. IBIT. That's one I've never heard of. What is IBIT?
And what else do I see here?
Oh, that's a Bitcoin ETF. Something that I wouldn't touch. Me personally, nothing wrong with it if you're afraid of owning your own crypto. But me, I would much rather own it myself. So I'll just buy the Bitcoin and store it on a cold wallet. So that's my personal views on the ETFs.
Yeah. But yeah, you see, I know the S&P has to be probably what, at the most 32% up,
Hmm.
whereas the one that he mentioned is 46 percent up over the last year. So I'm sure there are, but like I said, uh, I don't have those particular ETFs in my portfolio, and just personal preference. I think I might have a more conservative portfolio, but it's growing, and I am a long term investor, so I think it's working for me.
Hmm.
Uh, let's
Who
see.
launched it? iShares.
So, welcome in Pipeline. So, Don has made a couple of comments here about oil stocks. He's a huge fan of oil stocks. Pipeline. You're never too late, Pipeline. I know I saw something from Don
Yeah,
before.
the issuer is iShares, and the custodian of the actual Bitcoin is Coinbase Custody Trust Company LLC. So that's who actually holds the physical Bitcoin for iShares.
Okay.
Now, as far as iShares as an actual company, I don't know much about them.
So, Don was saying that electric cars still get power from oil and natural gas. US Electric is not all renewable. I think he was saying that back when you were talking about your old school investment that I asked
Hmm.
for, and you were talking about ExxonMobil. What are our thoughts on Visa and American Express? I think I don't hold either. I know
Me
Visa
neither.
has been doing well this year because
Hmm.
we've definitely you did a separate video about
I
Visa
did do
about
Visa.
2 weeks ago on a Monday,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. I have my
But
eyes on it. It's definitely on a watch list of something I could see myself owning later on down the line. Like I said, a lot of the companies that I don't currently own that I consider very great companies, I'm just simply being patient. I'm buying more ETFs right now and waiting for everything to come down. So like, it's not like I'm not investing at all. It's held inside of these ETFs, so I still got some sort of exposure to these companies. I just much rather wait to have direct exposure into new positions during a bear market versus buying them at the top. If I didn't own it then, I shouldn't be thinking about buying it now.
yeah, I think Visa, they've been making some headlines recently because of the like the potential monopoly that they had in when it comes to their industry. So um even with that, I think that they will still have looks like they're on track for continued steady growth, and they're dominant in the space that they're in.
Who owns iShares? BlackRock. Come to think of it, that's who owns iShares. BlackRock.
Okay, so Prez, you were mentioning about Boeing. I know I
Hmm.
saw recently so many companies are having these huge layoffs. And I don't know. I'm just like, I was thinking, you've talked about this too, I think, when you went to the supermarket and you see the robot like cleaning the floors
Marty.
and
No,
being the
he's
security.
cleaning the floors. He's a security guard.
He's a security guard. I've gone to the supermarket and seen these robots cleaning the floors. I guess that's my story. You see the security guard.
His
But
name Marty.
looking at the way that this new Tesla robot, the way it moves and it can make drinks and small detailed things like that, water the plants,
Hmm.
I really see it coming for that the jobs that I still see real people doing at the supermarket, like stocking the shelves, putting the bread on the shelves, things that are delicate uh, activities of
Yeah.
so I really it's scary because I'm thinking what type of jobs, how many more types of jobs are going to be eliminated as we're able to incorporate so many more elements to um, the self checker. You go to the fast food place, you have to just order things on the board yourself. So many jobs are being impacted by automation. So,
We as humans, we have to adapt. We
mhm,
have to, and that's my personal view on where I see the world going. We have to adapt. We have to have more people that actually look like us getting involved into these tech jobs and working for these tech companies the way as though that's where the jobs are going to be. Who's going to be the ones programming these machines to do the human jobs that was taken away from us? It got to be a human being to put that programs these machines until
yes,
they're able to program themselves.
a very highly skilled job there, though.
Yeah,
Whereas, yeah. So the one he sees potential in Boeing as a long term investment, saying that Boeing has contracts with NASA and the Air Force government
indeed they
contracts.
do.
So he sees a potential there where I think a lot of people are seeing just fear and uh, lack of quality and different issues. So they've been impacted, and that has led, I'm sure, to the amount of layoffs that they've had to have recently. So,
Hmm.
so when we were getting off the live last night, you said you were ready for dinner. I was up here with nothing to drink for the longest for the whole 2 hours that we were talking. I did a little better today. I did make my lemonade before. How was your dinner last night?
Pretty good, pretty
Pretty
good, pretty good.
good. Okay.
I don't even think I saw 11 p.m. I ate and I got the itis and went straight to sleep afterwards.
So Fener, Fener, I'm not sure how to pronounce. I am in the US on the East Coast. Prez,
Me
where
as
are
well.
you? You
Me
you
as
as
well.
well? Okay.
Pennsylvania. I'm
Okay.
originally from Baltimore, Maryland, but I'm currently living in Pennsylvania.
Yes. So, did you come across us in the shorts feed? Have you never seen us before? Do you want to subscribe? If you do, if you're enjoying what you see, I hope you have subscribed to the channel. And guys, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you have not already. Um, but
In totality, stay consistent no matter what. Like the market is going to have its ups and downs. When the market is up, you should be consistently buying good companies. When the market is down, you should still be buying good companies at the end of the day. As far as more riskier investments, I will be keep it to a minimum. Like I can't tell you what to do. It's your money at the end of the day, but don't believe the hype at the end of the day. Take the time to learn what these companies do and what these companies are, as well as these risky cryptocurrencies. Ask yourself, like, do I really understand what this is I'm putting my money into, or am I just trying to get rich quick? If the answer is the latter, then you need to reevaluate what you're doing because you could potentially end up losing your life savings, your hard-earned money, and what have you. Because I've heard many stories of people investing their life savings, y'all, into high-risk assets, whether it be AMC, GameStop, Bitcoin, crypto in general. Like, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy at the end of the day. Especially coming to my comments because I don't promote things like that. That's just that's just dumb. I can't be no more blunt about it. That's just don't be a dumb dumb.
okay. So guys, quick live today. We're coming up on 45 minutes. We were live yesterday too. We were live last night for nearly 2 hours. So, uh, I think we'll be back to this regular 3 o'clock time slot.
Hmm.
So make sure to tune in every Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be here. Hopefully, this is what Prez's work schedule will allow us to come back to our old time slot or our original time slot. So,
We back. We back.
yes. Shout out to Joe for being a member. And thanks again to Chad for the super chat. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And I think, Prez, will you be here on will you be going live on Wednesday? Any days this week?
Next week I will be back. Next
Okay.
week the morning shows will be back. I pulled some strings at
Okay.
my job. I was able to get on a different shift as well as a raise all in the same week, and I it's
Okay.
been
Sounds
awesome.
good. Sounds good. I don't
I went
know.
in there and just started selling myself, and it's paying off. I bet on myself on this journey, like and the blessings are starting to come in. So after this week, this is the last week that you won't see me. And starting next week, I will be going live on Monday. Let me look at my calendar to give you the date
Okay. No, Fast said
exactly.
I misspoke. There will not be any morning lives this week, but I was
The
just checking in.
28th, the 28th, I will be back on my morning live streams and potentially my evening live streams as well.
Okay. All right. So, Press, thank you for those closing words of encouragement. As always, guys, just be consistent. Don't be intimidated. We are all on this journey together, and we are here to support and encourage and figure out this thing. But we don't want anyone to not be investing, not be building wealth, and for yourself and for your family, because
Hmm.
it is an opportunity that we all have in this day and age, and we should not let this opportunity pass us by. So thanks for watching. We'll be back next week. Okay, bye.